Hi, welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, and we'll start with episode 2 today. Would you like to see a recap of episode 1 before you start episode 2? Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. The funeral of Perlan. The double N is throwing me, because I would say Perlane, but Perlan, Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt seem like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. They boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back. I noticed you haven't eaten much, so I figured you could use them more than me. Why can peanuts drip? If you know what's good for you, you'll stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen. And hallways, I guess. But only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. One of the humans died. Only one lives here now. 2 humans live here. You talk to that disgusting little rat who lives in his house is none of your concern. Gretchen, come back. Quit bothering strangers. Oh my god. Look at that little face. Why, I do declare, who's the stranger? And why do they smell of peanut butter? Speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to come along. Oh. A deer! And there's something uncouthly fake and vile to its odors. Duke grapples with the thing as it grabs at its shotgun, pushing the barrel out of the way as it grasps for Birdie, with oddly jointed limbs, while Stella stares in shocked silence as if paused, watching as the other creature attempts to wrestle Gretchen into the darkness, her desperate cries going unheeded. I'm sorry, Birdie is already gone. I will try to, if I can, I will try to save Gretchen. I think I need to process things. Yeah, let's just, before I know what I'm doing the rest of the week. Welcome home. You know what? Run. Also, by the way, because I did this whole monologue about sometimes choosing the boring stuff, because it's very much, I try to play this by heart, how I would decide. At the beginning, it says, maybe you can't even save yourself, so, I should be careful what choices I pick, because I don't want to die early. Tuesday morning awaits. Wake up. Wakey, wakey, X and Bakey. You open your eyes. The sun has risen, the birds are singing, you are still alive, and for now, you're safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window and the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, tangling into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember Duke, slumped against a tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. You can't help but? Of course, it's traumatic. You're not sure if you'll ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress. Note, you can refresh yourself on the events of previous days by using the journal icon in the quick menu. Like this thingy here? Refuse boiled peanut. Major decisions. Refuse boiled peanuts from a strange man on the bus. What? Oh, I would love to know what I could have done with the boiled peanuts. Met Dustin, the opossum that lives in my dresser, and made him nest. Went cryptid hunting with Stella, witnessed Duke die in the woods and called the police. Went straight home after the encounter in the woods and met a terrible stranger on the road back home. Returned to my cousin's estate before going to bed. Yeah. And I know it could have been an amazing adventure with Stella, but actually I was kind of getting tired of her bullshit. So I'm sorry. Check on Dustin. Yeah. You open the drawers to check in on Dustin. Oh god, he's still here. Look, he has a little... he has a little sandwich, like toast slide. That's adorable. Human is back. I see you have bread now. Yes, Dustin found a bread. Dustin also ate a bug last night. Good night for Dustin. Have you met Frou Frou? Monster. Can I talk to you about something horrible that happened last night? Oh my god, why would I put this on Dustin? But let's see what he has. Human can always talk to Dustin. What happened? The woods are full of big scary monsters. Dustin understand. World is full of big scaries. When Dustin gets scared, Dustin pretend to be dead. Good advice for human, maybe. Maybe, actually. We don't know until we find out. We try it out. Yeah, I don't want to, like, I feel like I can pick these pair of trousers, and I don't want to steal. I don't want to. It was nice to catch up, Dustin. I'll see you around. Guy. He's so cute. You gently close the drawer. So cute. Okay, poke around the closet. Yes. Great. The doll didn't move during the night. Check. Maybe it isn't haunted after all. Though after everything you went through yesterday, that's hardly a consolation. Return to your room. You turn back to the rest of the room. I wonder if something would have been different if we would have, like, explored the house and maybe basically invited something from the house into our room during the night. Or, I think I spilled some water on me. That was just water, by the way. But yeah, embarrassing. Anyways. Maybe if we wouldn't have let Dustin sleep in the commode, in the drawer, maybe then he would have, like, walked around and messed up the closet. Okay. Look out the window. You creep towards the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. I don't know what's lurking in the garden. Wait, was it H? That's really pretty. We don't see anything lurking. For a second you thought you saw movement. It could have been an animal. It could have been something else. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Can we look? I want to go into the garden. Leave the window. Maybe I'll head out there and investigate after you finished waking up. Yeah. Get dressed and head down to the kitchen. Time to start your day. Oh, look at Frou-Frou. Oh my god. She is amazing. I love her. Look at her. What a queen. What a queen. She doesn't deserve this mess. Although it actually well, yeah, it looks messy. You're back in the kitchen. Frou-Frou eyes you from her favorite spot on the counter. Her pupils dilate and her tail twitches. I forgot I gave her a French accent. I see you're still here. How unfortunate. Gretchen sends her regards. Inform Frou-Frou that Gretchen still draws breath in episode 2. The Cerberus vit toujours. That creature has not yet returned to whatever vile pit of hell it crawled from. Merde. Truly ours is not a kind god. Have you noticed anything weird around here? We ran into these horrible things in the woods last night and... Silence! Do you know what time it is? Quiet, you awful little mouse. Your voice is the only horrible thing I have witnessed as of late. Sorry. Hey! Did you know the police called me this morning? You've only been here one day and you've already had a run-in with the cops? It wasn't my fault, Tabitha. Also, you could have spent some time with me. You know, maybe I wouldn't have got into trouble with Stella. I told you I saw someone die last night. So you did. It was late, and I was tired, and I assumed Stella put you up to a little joke after we're dragging you into the woods. Anyways, does it really matter? Man, look, I know she's grieving, but also, geesh. You know, some old farmer disappeared after going hunting in the middle of the woods at night. So what? Something like that was bound to happen eventually, and frankly, you're lucky it didn't happen to you. Still, they had quite a few questions about you, Hula. I wonder if she's somehow involved, and that's why she's so laissez-faire, because she needs to draw attention away from herself, because we still have the weird thing in the house. Before you ask, don't worry, I told them that you're an upstanding citizen. But I'd rather not waste my time talking to cops. It's irritating, and this is already a very difficult week. Yeah, I get that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that this would happen. I wanted to get out of her way, and look. Just don't put anything else on my plate right now, okay? Well, I can't promise you that. There are monsters in the woods. We need to leave. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. Ugh, this is Stella's influence, isn't it? That girl spent years chasing her own shadow, thinking it's Bigfoot. This is just a sleepy mountain town where nothing ever happens. I'm not about to flee in terror just because Stella thinks she saw some ghouls. Well, I saw some ghouls. What is up with you and Stella? She's actually sad. She's not grumpy. Frou-Frou in the background. Man, we just have a history, that's all. I don't need to explain myself to you. Aw, she's genuinely sad. Is there anything I can do to help out? You can stay out of trouble while I do my job. Oh, and I want you home by sunset. Well, if I'm followed by monsters and whatnot, you know, sometimes it just happens. Like, I don't know this town, you know? I would need someone to show me where I can be safely without getting attacked. I don't want to hear complaints, just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. I don't think so. We'll have problems. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her footsteps fade down the hall, ending in the characteristic creak and slam of the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you are the only human in the estate. Are we really? Well, even with the monsters we would be, so, It seems you make a habit of bad first impression, no? The cat chuckles mockingly. Time to start your day. Investigate the garden. As your eyes wander to the garden door, you shudder, remembering the brief glimpse of something you saw from your upstairs window. Yeah, but I want to know. It was probably just a raccoon, but the uncertainty of what you saw gnaws at you and compels you to investigate, if only to prove that it was nothing. At the very least, you don't see anything now. Oh look, there's a little... Is that another, a possum? It looks like it, right? Do we have anything else? This is like a little search picture. Investigate further. Okay, this actually, if you're like, oh, hula, what the hell? You know, you were so harsh on Stella about the woods, but this is our garden. This feels like, and we weren't warned by Tabitha not to go into the garden, so I feel like it is safe-ish. From my assumption, it's like close to home. It's walled off. Also, how amazing is that to have a garden? That's, oh my god, okay. You wander farther into the garden, trying to pinpoint the spot where that thing had been lurking, if indeed there had been a thing to begin with. Do we see anything? I don't see anything. Check the ground for clues. You crouch down, pushing aside the greenery to examine the soft earth. Ew, what is that? A boot print, a big boot print, and what looks like some kind of viscera. Ugh. Good thing we didn't have that PB&J yet. Your thoughts turn to the specter from the night before. You snap a quick photo just in case it comes in handy later. No, I want to go... What's with me in the garden? Couldn't I do both things? It's not like I have an appointment or something. With that, you head back inside. Time to figure out what to do with the rest of your day. After last night, you should make things up to your cousin. Screw going to town. Try to clean the guest bathroom instead. Tabitha is right. After last night, the last thing you need is to be sucked into more adventures. You're not going to leave the estate. You're going to do what you were told and wait for her to get back from work. Well, I need something to eat. So we gobble up. This probably, if in case you didn't do the PB&J hunt on the previous day, and that's that. Okay, oh, this is difficult, because yes, sure, Tabitha wants me, but she said before sunset, so I am listening to her. She didn't say that I'm not allowed to leave the house. She just said I should be back before sunset. And what am I? And the house is scary. That's another thing. The house is scary, and Frou-Frou will probably be happy if I'm out of her hair, fur. So head to town. Tabitha isn't here to stop you now. You head outside back to the mountain path that leads to town. And everyone, I'm not going against, you know, it's day. I don't know why the text is like, she said we are not allowed to go outside, because that's not what she said. She said we need to be back by sunset if we want to go out, which is what I'm planning to do. So this is a little bit, it's like when the game does something, you know, that like it implies something that is not really there in the storytelling. Weird. Alright, I hope we don't see the weirdo. The walk back to town is much less pleasant today than it was yesterday, when you didn't yet know that the woods were full of monsters and strange men who know your name. Well, the man was part of the monsters, though. You stare anxiously into the darkness between the trees, searching for any signs of movement, but the woods are still... At least for now. Continue down the path. The autumn-tinged mountains sprawling for miles in every direction now feel less like beautiful scenery and more like the walls of a cage. Almost back to town. Continue down the path. You make it to town in one piece. No creatures jumped out at you. No scary men blocked your path. Probably because if we go back before sunset, maybe the monsters are like night dwellers. They looked kind of, you know, palish, like a little bit like me, and, you know, yeah, you actually hardly see me outside during night because I'm also couch potato, so I'm the best of both worlds. The sight of other people is comforting, helping you forget the things you've witnessed as if they happened to someone else. Oh hey, Hula! We were just talking about you. I stopped by Sybil's to pick up her new tea blend and, well, you're the biggest thing to come into town since the coal mine. Folks have been absolutely buzzing about you. I'm Sybil. I run the tea house. I believe you've met my daughter's friend, Stella? Yeah, I did. You went out with her last night, right? Did something happen out there? She barely even waved when she walked by. Duke got hurt. We bumped into Duke a couple of times while we were out there, and he got hurt pretty bad. I'm not really sure what we saw. Why would I should have said the whole thing. I regret it now. I thought it was like leading up to... Whoa, slow down. Is he okay? No. I'm afraid Duke is no longer with us, Avery. Stella stopped by last night and told me about her and Hula's encounter in the woods. Oh! So your daughter is the friend that Stella talked about. Okay. Holy crap, I can't believe this is the first I've heard of it. Has anyone told Bo? Yes, he's taking it as well as you can imagine. I'll be going up to check in on him today. You poor lad. Can't believe you had to see that, Hula. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner? Winnie can fix you some of Sybil's new blend and try to calm your nerves. It's chaga and lemon balm. It's always helped me on the bad days. It actually, I don't know what chaga is, but lemon balm sounds good. And if you need to talk about what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Hula. See you, Sybil. Take care now, Avery. I like how he don't tell Avery the truth about last night. Alright, then keep your secret. It's from Lord of the Rings. It's one of my favorite memes ever. The thing is, I don't know these people. Should I immediately gossip? And also, I feel like it's this horror thing that I have when I watch these movies, where I'm always like shouting at the characters, the protagonists. Don't tell everything, because people might not believe you. They will think you're crazy if you say there was a monster. But if you say someone died, that's believable. So I would go with my logic. I see you're a private person. I can respect that. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you counted last night. Oh, so she knows. I'd better get back to it myself. But actually, before I go, a word. Stella came by my tea room last night. She told me about what you saw out in the woods, and she showed me her footage, too. She managed to sneak away the memory card. What did I tell you? I said it. Apparently the police are just holding on to an empty camera. Didn't trust them not to erase the whole thing. I can't say I blame her. Yeah, I get it, but also... I know what you two went through, and I know what you saw. Those things are real. Neither of you imagined them, and they're certainly no ordinary creatures. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they're terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Holy moly! I've told Stella and my daughter, Kanika, what I know, though I'm afraid that's not much. I believe they're at the library if you'd like to join them. Ooh, library. I've never heard of ditchlings, and I feel like I know a lot about folktales. How do you know all this? What kind of destruction are we talking about here? So they're dangerous? If something bad is coming, we need to get people out of here. Yeah. Leave and go where? These people's whole lives are in this town. Their homes, their histories, their families. Most of them don't have the kind of money it would take to start new somewhere else. You can try to convince them, but I think you find it a difficult task. How do you know all this? People tell stories, and I listen. Granted. It's not every day you meet somebody who's seen a ditchling and lived to tell the tale, so I suppose I should count myself lucky to know about them at all. And you should count yourself lucky, too. What kind of destruction are we talking about here? If you had seen just one or two, I'd say it could be a bridge collapse, a bad accident, something tragic but not devastating. But this many multiplying like they are, I couldn't tell you. Maybe the mines. So they're dangerous. Are they going to start attacking people? I think you misunderstood me. They're not dangerous on their own. Think of them more like birds flocking before a storm. Yeah, but they attacked. They're neither a threat on their own nor the cause of what's to come, merely a sign that things are not as they should be. But they attacked us. What happened to Duke was an unfortunate accident, and nothing more. A consequence of the three of you seeing something you weren't meant to see. But they dragged Gretchen away. There was a man on the way home at night. Oh, I don't know if this is something you'd know about, but when I was on my way home last night, there was this man in the road. It was dark, but he had a miner's jacket on. He knew my name, and there was something off about him. Oh yes, that would be Wayne probably. He's a bit of an adult local. You don't have to worry about him. He's harmless, just very sick. But do let me know if he bothers you again, dear. Huh. Something's off. Either she doesn't know or... No offense, but that all sounds far-fetched. It sounds like you're saying this is magic or something. I mean, at this point, I'd be like... And even if it's folk tale, you can have folk tales about something that actually exists, you know? Weird creatures. Are you out of your mind? I may not have a better explanation, but I don't believe in magic monsters and omens. Thanks, this was helpful. Of course. I'm so sorry to cut our conversation short, but I've got things that need tending to. Stay safe, Hula, and God bless... Yeah, whatever. And with that, you are alone on Main Street. What to do with the rest of your morning? Swing by the diner. The diner is a little quiet today, but the air is still heavy with the tantalizing smell of breakfast. One, no! Oh my god, warn the patrons of the danger. You be the crazy person. No one... Oh, she looks rough. Talk to Avery, sorry. I didn't want to look shame. Coffee date. Get coffee with Avery. You slide into the booth across from Avery. Hey there, stranger. Before you can exchange words, Winnie sidles up, a fresh mug of tea in hand. Heard you might need this. Oh, nice. The answer to 29 down is oink, by the way. What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that a sound a pen makes? A pig pen. Wait, pen like pig pen? Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that? I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just gonna frustrate you. Just something to do to fill my time, but maybe I should switch to Sudoku. Winnie leaves Avery contemplating daily newspaper puzzles, returning to her seat behind the counter. So, what the hell really happened last night? You can tell me. I won't judge. I try my tea. You hesitantly take a sip of your tea. It tastes like you're drinking mold that someone tried to unsuccessfully spruce up with lemon balm. Ew. It tastes hot, but mold is... I don't know. I don't know. It tastes healthy. Take another sip. I mean, I'm like, no, but mold is really, I mean, that's disgusting. What the hell is in this tea? Oh, right. I probably should have warned you about that. It's chaga, this fungus you can harvest from birch trees. Oh. It supposedly has a ton of health benefits, and it sure tastes like it. It's a challenge, you know. Huh. What if you don't believe me about last night? I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen. All right, all right. Confidant. Tell Avery the truth about last night. Should you share everything? Glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you've witnessed who is not Stella. Wow, there's some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. Monsters in the woods. I may not have lived here long, but I've never heard of anything like that happening around these parts. How exciting. Now that I think about it, when the cops came in for their morning coffee, they mentioned something about going out to the woods to look for someone. It must have been Duke. They seemed so disconnected from it. I figured it couldn't be very serious, but wow. Small town cops not knowing how to do their jobs? Sounds about right. No. I'm sure they've seen much worse. I don't think so. They seem really suspicious. What if the cops are in on it? I don't know how, but they were so unconcerned. It's suspicious. I don't know. They come in here most days and they've always just seemed bored to me. The worst they usually have to deal with around here is property disputes. I don't think they're used to actual emergencies. Yeah, but wouldn't that mean that you would be more stressed and more agitated if you're not used to this? If you're not expecting this to happen? At least that's how it's been as long as I've lived here. I hadn't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from? I moved here from Charlotte. Gosh, 3 years ago now? Maybe a little more. I've lost track. Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and who was I to pass on that sort of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the Cole folks grew up in this town, so it's like I'm the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly, but there's a shared history I'll never be part of. Do you regret moving here? I don't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Aunt Winnie, and there's no way she's leaving this place. Why'd you leave Charlotte? If you don't mind me asking. No, it's cool. I was having some issues with my folks about my education, which wasn't great. Especially since I was still stuck under their roof. When my aunt heard about it, she offered me a job and a place to stay, and the rest is history. Aw, man, I'm so sorry. Like, even if you stop studying or whatever, or don't want to do what your parents want you to do, shouldn't, you know, yeah, that sucks. I get it. I felt out of place the whole time I've been here. I haven't felt like an outsider at all. No, I did. Yeah. Folks on the whole have been plenty friendly, but life here is so different than what I'm used to. It's hard to explain, but I just don't feel like I belong. Exactly. There are worse ways to be, but I'm not sure I'll ever entirely feel like I belong here. Do you say all of this was exciting? A man's dead, Avery. You should get out of here before things get any worse. And take me with you. Let me know if you happen across any... You should get out of here before things get any worse. If you have a car, drive away. There's no way I could get Aunt Winnie to leave, and I'm not going anywhere without her. Not after everything she's done for me. Even if there are monsters in the hills, I'd rather face whatever's coming head on than start someplace new without my family. Oh man, it looks like my shift is starting. I hope you're doing a bit better. Maybe the Chagas had a chance to start working its magic. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. Thank you! The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Nice, thank you! Avery slips out of the booth, giving a friendly half-wave before disappearing into the back. You leave the diner, ready to continue your day. You know what's the thing with most of these games? So I guess both Stella and Avery are up for romancing. But you know, it's too soon. Like... And I get it for the sake of the game. These games can't, you know, have like a span of covering 6 years or so. But for me personally, it's always like we just met. I will not start flirting now because I don't even know you. That's way too early. You leave the diner ready to continue your day. Because, you know, even if the visuals are nice, you know, if I don't know the person, I don't know if I want to flirt with them. How about that, you know? It's just physical attraction is nothing. You need to get along. Alright, swing by the general store. I don't mind if I do. A young man sits at the table by the register, too preoccupied with his phone to care that you stepped in. He looks like he's 16. You should leave town. There are monsters in the woods. Do you know how to get to the mines? Do you know how to get to... Yeah, why not? Maps are free. Okay. Oh, that was info, actually. I thought he meant, like, maps are free. Why are you asking me? But he told us that there's free maps to get. Yeah, cool. You take a map of the town. The mines are a couple miles away, but you now have the power to visit your cousin of your own free will. Hi, I'm Hula. Just got to town yesterday. I don't know why I'm doing this. I probably would not. Is this garlic behind that door? Yeah, I know. Mom told me. What's your name? Miles. If I wanted to buy chips or something, do I talk to you or... Miles size? I guess, yeah. Kanika decided to skip work today, so of course whatever plans I had didn't matter. Oh. Kanika's probably with Stella, right? I just take the chips. I don't care. I'm paying for my chips. I insist. I'm not ringing you up. Take him or leave him. Alright, you grab a bag of salt and vinegar chips from a nearby shelf. Yes, I totally would. It will sustain you in the coming days. Cool. See you, Miles. Miles doesn't respond as you turn and leave the general store. Yeah, you can't... You don't... Sticky fingers. Steal from the... What? No, I didn't... No! I didn't steal. How is that stealing? No, really, how's that stealing? He told me I can take them. I said, no, I want to pay for them. And then he was like, no, I will not ring you up. And there was no option to just put the money on the counter. Oh, man, I'm not a thief. Oh, well. Maybe I can make it up. Maybe I can pay her later. Head to the library. Good lord. You enter the former town hall. Is that Stella? Yeah, I see Gretchen. And that's probably Kanika. Oh, what? Oh my god. What is going on here? Also, there's a cat. Look at that. Reading adventure. Anything else? No. You enter the former town hall. What once must have been a stately foyer has since been converted into rows of shelves. Meeting rooms and offices long ago gave way to assorted reference collections and reading areas. Oh, hey! Shush Stella and point at all of the books before heading over to her table. What? You've got nothing better to do right now. Might as well join Stella. Turn around and leave. You're not getting pulled into more of Stella's hijinks. Visit your cousin instead. No, now I'm here. And I wanted to touch base just to see how she's doing. Settle in at Stella's table. Hey, it's nice to meet in person. I'm Kanika. Stella filled me in about last night. I stole from you, Kanika. I'm so sorry. Here's $5. I don't know how much the chips are. I will pay it. I will pay it. Did you send my regards to that foul feline? Wink at Gretchen and give a subtle thumbs up. Wonderful. I hope she stews on that for a long, long time. Oh my god, look. Ooh, what's the... Could be nice, could also be gross. Like this little detail. Ghost tracks, okay. Alright. Wonderful, I hope she's... Oh yeah. You look tired. My goodness, whatever happened to common decency? You can't go around telling someone they look unwell. You look marvelous, Hula. Oh, thank you, Gretchen. Snitch on Miles. Honestly... I think I have to do it because I don't want to be a thief. I don't want to. Oh, before I forget, I met your brother Miles. He made me take chips without paying for them. Hula! You can't just snitch on someone like that. I asked him to cover the store for one day and he can't even be bothered to do that. Typical. I'm paying him, you know. It's no wonder he's chronically unemployed. Anyways, I guess we should get started. I'm sorry. I know. I shouldn't be a snitch. But honestly, no. I don't want to be a thief. Yes, gotta figure out what these ditchling things are here for. Kanika's mom says that they are a portent of doom, so we're researching local disasters. You're researching local disasters. I'm still not buying into that tailpo nonsense. Tailipo? Tailipo? Is that a thing? Is that... What's that? What? But that doesn't mean those things you and Stella found last night don't scare the crap out of me. I just think that whatever's going on has more to do with reality than magic. Well, I guess we'll just have to see who's right. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. Before you dig in, you remember the boot print you found in the garden. Show your photo to Stella and Kanika. I found something in the garden this morning. You hold up your phone and show Kanika and Stella the photo you took of the garden. These prints were in the bushes with a clear line of sight to my window. Dang, that's creepy. Are you okay? What is that liquid around it? It looks like pus. Ew. Explore, talk to animals. The opossum that lives in my dresser says that 2 people live at the estate. Am I talking to... No, I can't say that. They will... No. Some creep in a bloody mining uniform snuck up on me last night. I think it's him. He knew my name. Sybil thought it might be some guy named Wayne. That creep who keeps coming around my mom's tea room? Yeah, that sounds like him. Alright. I don't know what's going on with him, but there's something seriously wrong with the guy. Yeah, he's the same thing than the deer. That's really concerning. Let us know if you need somewhere else to stay. I think it might be best if you don't walk home alone again while you're in town. If you were with me, I'd have chased that never-do-well off. Oh, there was Gretchen again. Okay, sorry. I wonder if there's any connection between him and what happened in the woods last night. Like what? I mean, I don't have anything specific, but we do have that whole prophecy of impending doom angle to explore, and this photo is weird. By the way, I think Kanika's offer is amazingly attractive because the house is a mess. Tabitha is never there, but I still don't think I would take it up because I have to be there for my cousin, just in case if she needs me at some point. Can't stop thinking about the splatters on the ground. If he's sick, maybe it's from the creatures you encountered. Hey there, strangers. And little stranger. Your library is incredible. I can't imagine how much work you have put into maintaining this sort of collection. Look how shocked they are. And he's like, thank you. Hey, Oscar, this is Hula, you know, Tabby's cousin. Oh, I should have known you were a Scarlet. You look so much like Vivian. Not that I knew her very well. I was still a little kid when she left. But that Scarlet resemblance, it's, strong. I'm Oscar Gutierrez, Chief Librarian and only librarian. Oscar's amazing. He practically built this library from scratch. Yeah, I'm a little jealous of what the kids around here get to grow up with. They don't know how good they have it. Back when I was in elementary school, all the library had was a couple of shelves of boring books donated by old people. Y'all are too kind, but speaking of kids, have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I wanted to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. You know the crowd she hangs around with. They're good kids at heart. I'm sure they're just up at the old Maxwell place doing teen stuff. I ran up there plenty of times in my day, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled. What's the old Maxwell place? It's this great old abandoned spot, and it's practically a magnet for young people. Even honor students aren't free from its call. I can't believe... Oh, so Rosalina is an honor student, I guess. I can't believe I used to be so reckless. Oh, the floors, they were like Swiss cheese. Okay, so Kanika is an honor student. I should really have a talk with Rosalina when she gets home. I don't like the thought of teens... Oh, I thought... I read the first half of the sentence, like, I don't like the thought of teens getting up to mischief, and I was like, who am I? But then with all those ditchlings in the woods... Is he involved in this? Does he know about them? Say nothing and let the others talk. You might not want to let her run off like that anymore, though. It's not as safe as it usually is around here. Is that so? See, he doesn't know. Kanika's right. There's some weird stuff going on out in the woods. That's actually why we came in today. Have you ever heard of creatures called ditchlings? They apparently show up around places on the brink of disaster. And they kind of look like if the Pillsbury Doughboy was a creepypasta. Kanika's mom told us about them last night after seeing some footage we got in the woods. Ditchlings doesn't ring a bell. Dang, worth a shot. Okay, if you were, say, trying to predict a horrible disaster that might befall our town, where would you start looking? I love the little... Well, they say history repeats itself, so I'd probably try and figure out what sort of disasters this region typically falls prey to. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Should I be worried about something? I don't know yet. I'll be right back. Gonna go nab some more books. Behave while I'm gone, Gretchen. Oh, you don't have to worry about her, Stella. You're such a good dog, aren't you, Gretchen? Here, have a biscuit, old gal. Well, ain't you the sweetest thing on two legs? Gretchen... Gretchen inhales the soft biscuit, drool leaking from her toothless mouth as she swallows it whole. Oh, look at her. I'm pretty sure Stella's barking up the wrong tree, Oscar. I don't think you have to worry about any horrible calamity befalling the town. But she's right about the weird stuff. There's definitely something unusual going on out in those woods. Whatever's out there in the woods has been brutalizing the wildlife. Yeah, I think we should mention that. I don't think it's safe. I'm gonna try calling Rosalina again. I'm sure she's fine, really. Rosalina's a smart kid. She knows better than to go around getting into trouble, and we'll make sure to keep our eyes peeled. I love how Gretchen looks at me. Well, if you see a 13-year-old girl with a black braid and glasses, would you let her know her dad is worried about her? Yeah. Oscar anxiously wanders off, phone in hand. Got him! Just grabbed a whole mess of local history books. Stella sets a massive pile of books on the table and pulls up a chair. Alright, this is gonna be so much faster with the two of you here to help out. Got our snacks, got our books. What's the snacks? Because Gretchen isn't eating them. She's not even eyeing them, so I feel like, are they really tasty if a dog doesn't want to eat them? What is up with that? Let's get this research party started. Reading awaits. Alright, Booksmart. Explore flips through historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. Veins of Scarlet, the history of the Scarlet Hollow coal mines. Sela Scarlet, soldier, woodsman, leader, Appalachian folk monsters. Oh, they are all interesting, but I would totally read the folk monsters thing. A few entries catch your eye. Mothman, a humanoid creature whose sightings are said to be tied to supernatural events. I actually once played a game about Mothman. The Jersey Devil, a wyvern-like creature that haunts the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Ginseng babies, roots said to scream like infants if dug up under the full moon. Oh yeah, it's so creepy, it's so creepy. The Bell Witch, a particularly violent haunting in Tennessee. Hopkinsville goblins, small silvery creatures that besieged a farm in Kentucky. Wampus cat, a large cat-like creature with a loud howling voice, often said to sound like a woman crying out in pain. Tommyknockers, that's from Stephen King, enigmatic cave-dwelling creatures primarily known for causing mischief. Tailpo, a small creature with a long tail and wide yellow eyes. Let's go with the goblins. The Hopkinsville Goblins case was supposed to close a encounter with extraterrestrials in the 1950s near Hopkinsville, Kentucky. During the incident, 5 adults and 7 children arrived at the local police station, claiming that a group of small chrome creatures had besieged their farmhouse for hours. When police arrived on the scene, they found bullet holes and spent shells, but little else in the way of evidence. Skeptics suggest the family had simply misidentified a group of great horned owls. Even so, the incident remains one of the most thoroughly corroborated and documented cases of extraterrestrial contact. Damn, I picked the wrong book. It probably would have been more interesting to do something else. Tommyknockers originated in Cornish mythology, spreading to the United States when Cornish immigrants began working in Appalachian mines. They're named for the knocking that can be heard from seemingly within the walls before a cave-in. According to some, the knocking serves as a benevolent warning. Others believe that the creatures take stolen hammers to the supports of mines and collapse them on whoever is unfortunate enough to still be inside. They are traditionally thought to be impish, leprechaun-like beings, but some claim they are the spirits of dead miners, forever cursed to haunt their final resting place. I guess I can read all of them, so, you know. Let's read all of them. The Mothman is a large flying creature generally described as a humanoid with glowing red eyes. It was first spotted by a couple in West Virginia in the mid-1960s and was encountered in the region several more times in the following years. The Silver Bridge collapse of 1967 has been linked to a series of Mothman sightings, and it's said the presence of the creature served as some sort of omen or was a catalyst that led to the disaster. This has since become an important aspect of Mothman, with sightings of this cryptid often taken as a sign that some great misfortune is soon to follow. There's even a very bad movie about this. Though the Pine Barrens, the place where this creature is said to have been born, are far from the Appalachian wilderness, sightings of the Jersey Devil have been documented all throughout the forests of the eastern United States. According to popular legend, the Jersey Devil was born to a woman named Jane Leeds. Leeds, upon realizing she was pregnant with her 13th child and daunted by the task of giving birth yet again, cursed the child in her womb, proclaiming it would be the devil itself. Though born as a normal child, it quickly transformed, gaining a goat or horse's head, large bat wings, and a forked devil's tail. Kicking at the family and lashing out with its tail, it flew up the chimney and out into the night, disappearing into the Pine Barrens. Okay, that's quite a tale. The Jersey Devil is one of the oldest cryptids in North American history, with a sighting spanning back through the 1800s all the way to the origin of the myth in the late 1700s. It's said to move with incredible speed and is recognizable by its high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. It's safe to say life was hard in the South after the Civil War. The land and its people had been ravaged by conflict, and many turned to unusual industries to get by. One such industry was that of ginseng diggers, or sand diggers, as they were colloquially known, who eked out meager living for themselves by digging up and selling wild American ginseng. Myths surrounding sand diggers were plentiful, but most prominent among them was that of the ginseng baby. It was thought that if you dig up a ginseng root on the night of the new moon, it will cry like an infant and leave blood on the earth when it's torn free. The parallels to European mandrake myths, yeah, that's it, are clear, and it can be assumed this myth arose from cross-pollination from European immigrants. But perhaps on the night of the new moon you should go out and dig up a ginseng root, see if it cries, and check the earth for its blood. Yeah, but why would I want to do that? It sounds horrible. Sounds like I'm not doing the ginseng root any favors either. Like, does it do anything good, or is it just so I can be traumatized? For it could be that the myth spread not through legends passed down through immigrant families, but from the unsettling experiences of these Appalachian foragers. One of the most famous hauntings in North American history, the Bell Witch, was a strange entity that plagued the citizens of the Red River region of Tennessee in the early 1800s. Many strange phenomena have been attributed to the witch through the years, but the most famous was the haunting of the Bell family. It started out as a fairly typical haunting with unnatural sounds echoing throughout the house after sundown, and the appearance of a strange mammal that no one could identify or capture. Oh. Unlike other hauntings, though, these acts quickly escalated to attacks on the family, and in particular the daughter Elizabeth Bell. She was constantly covered in bruises from the spirit's abuse. It's a very good book, I think, on this, An American Haunting. Not book, movie. The spirit could frequently be heard speaking through the walls, its disembodied voice mocking the family and any visitors, and it eventually escalated to giving full-blown hallucinations to those dwelling in the Bell House. Though this haunting ended in the early 1800s, its activity continued in the region for many decades. It could be that the entity known as the Bell Witch may still dwell in the Red River region to this day. Wampus Cat. Often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus Cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought vengeance against a monstrous cat demon for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down by wearing a bobcat mask, tricked it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of their region from its evil. Others say the creature comes from the story of a woman who wore the pelt of a wild cat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat, forced to wander the wilderness alone, feared by all. Oh. Her calls are those of great sadness and serve as a warning to anyone who dares goes against tradition. And the Tailpo. There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods all alone with his hunting dog. One night, after a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs emptied. The hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. Oh, some small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his actions. But it was quick and ran back through its hidey hole and out of sight, leaving only its long black tail shot off by the hunter's rifle. Guess that'll have to do, he said to his dog, and threw the tail in a pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail filling them both up. The hunter crawled into bed, satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke up to the sound of long nails scrabbling across wood. His dog was nowhere in sight, only a rumpled spot on the covers where he'd been. In the gloom, he saw two big yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my Telpo!" A high, hoarse voice croaked from the darkness. "Go away!" he screamed at the damn thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of a long claws dragging across hardwood accompanying its movements. "I want my Tailpo!" Oh, it's Tailpo. Sorry, I said Tailpo. The creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you!" the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear, but there was no dog to be seen. "I want my Tailpo!" Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws stretched out towards the hunter. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney, standing alone in the woods. So who told the tale? Huh? 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 You're done here. You close the book and put it back. Oh my god. It's 50 minutes. I promised myself. 50 minutes, not more. So next time we'll go through the rest of it. I guess this will be a long chapter, because if we read through everything, which I intend to do, then it will be a super long reading list. I hope the folk stories were the longest, because man, 3 other books, it's a lot of reading. All right. So, what do we think? First of all, if I have the opportunity, I would like to go to Tabitha and basically bring her home from work. Like, you know, that would be kind of nice and cool. But I will make sure that I'm there before sunset. I think she knows more than anyone else in the city. So she probably means what she says by this is for protection, because it feels like she doesn't really give a shit about most things, and this that she was worried the previous day probably had a lot to do that she was literally worried for our safety, and so I think she knows something. Next up, that miner is sick. We heard that from Kanika's mother, so I'm quite sure he has the same disease that the deer had. And those ditchlings, I don't know if they're connected or not. Maybe they're just the harbingers of whatever has infected the deer and the miner. So I guess we'll find that out. And I guess the big thing I mean, in the mine town, I'm always like, something happens with the mine, right? That's the most logical conclusion. So yeah, looking forward to this. I really enjoy. The thing is, I really enjoy this because it's so natural the way you walk through and decide what you're going to do, and nothing feels super forced. And the conversations feel really nice, and you can always, what I also like is you can always stop them. You can always be like, you know what, bye. Or you can skip them. I guess if someone wants to be really just very action heavy, you know, they can just have all the action and none of the conversation, or hardly any conversations. Although I think with a game like this, you're usually missing out on a lot, and there's a lot of information you can probably glean from talking to people, from reading stuff, you know, where you kind of can figure out things more. And if it's the type of game that I'm expecting it to be, then also reading and knowing about this can help you further along the way, because you can actually use it and say, by the way, I read about this thing, or I heard that this is happening. So yeah, still kind of a super big fan. I'm so sorry, because I guess it makes sense that the beginning of the next chapter again is a slow start, and then it will probably ramp a little bit up in episode 2, although we will do so much reading that we'll probably not have too much chaos energy there. But then the last episode will probably be back again with like just shenanigans, chaos and shenanigans. But yeah, I love this very much. Also very interested, I want to know what happened with Tabitha and Stella. Something's good. Were they lovers and then they had a quarrel, or best friends or whatever? Would you have gone to Tabitha right away, or would you also have gone to the library? And also, oh yeah, the chips. Okay. I was naive. I admit that, because I thought it was basically, if he is part of the family that owns the store and he says, you know what, take the chips, I thought he was gifting them to me because he was too lazy. I didn't know that he basically just was like, if you want to steal them, that's okay. That's not how my mind works, you know. I know, because that's why I mentioned, like, I would like to pay for these. And then when he says, no, I will not ring you up, then it sounds to me like you can have them, you know, as a gift. And maybe that's just too much, you know, implying from my side and assuming from my side. But what would you have done? That's really a very important question for myself to learn, for maybe if that ever happens to me in real life, which I doubt it will, because I actually would have just, if I wanted the chips, I would have looked at the price, I would have dug out the money, I would have put that on the counter, and then I would have walked out with the chips, you know, by paying them, actually, because you can do that. No one needs to ring you up. You can just put the money on the counter. That's it. So yeah, but I still want to know, would you have taken the chips or not? And that's it. See you next time. Bye! This is my self-recorded outro song, so I don't get hit with copyright claims. If you subscribe to a lot of fun tutorials, reviews, and let's plays.